Wagwan, Wagwan. Welcome to my channel. I am the DIY Yardie. Welcome back if you've been here before. In this video, I'm working on the Ford Ranger pickup. Um, this problem could be with any fuel operated car, fuel engine car. But what it's doing is it's getting extended crank before the car starts, and it's also getting code P0171 and P0172, bank 1 and bank 2, which indicates that the computer is detecting more air in the fuel system than fuel for the correct air to fuel ratio mix. Okay, it's getting way more air than fuel. So that's considered a lean condition. All right. So running the OBD test to come up with those codes, then what I did was I performed a few tests checking for leaks on the engine. And what you can do is like some visual checks. This is the intake duct from the um, mass airflow going to the engine. You can visually check all of your hoses for cracks. Um, this is the mass airflow meter. That is actually a new one, so that can also cause that code. Um, the fuel pressure regulator, a bad fuel pressure regulator, can also cause that code. Um, but mainly when you have that issue, generally it's usually some form of air leak in the system somewhere. All right, and I use carburetor cleaner to go over and check all of these spots, and I couldn't find um, any form of air leak to the car. All right, so the next part that I went to was here, which is a fuel rail, and I did a pressure test with my fuel pressure tester. And what happened is, with the pressure connected, and I ran the engine, I still had the same issue where the prolonged crank before the start. And what I also noticed is that once I cut the car off, I didn't the fuel pressure wasn't maintained. It dropped to zero. All right. So I realized that my problem is that the engine is not maintaining the correct fuel pressure once the car is cut off. All right. So the what I think there is that the fuel system is not holding the pressure. So I came up with the problem must be inside the tank. What I call a drain down situation where okay, I have the tank out of the car right now, and I'm gonna remove the fuel pump, and I'm gonna do a visual check off the fuel pump to see if I find a visible drain down situation with the tank. I'm sorry, with the pump out of the tank. All right, so I'm gonna use a oil drain pan. What I did is I reconnected the fuel pump to the car. I put some fuel in this oil drain pan, and then I cut the ignition on. Okay, not start the vehicle, but just cut the ignition on to cycle the fuel pump. All right. So what I'm looking for is signs of leaks from the fuel pump when the ignition is cycled on. And if you look, you'll see fuel running right out at the fuel pressure regulator there. And that's what actually happens while this car is running. It's losing fuel pressure right in that area. So that right there is my issue. So I'm actually not getting the right amount of fuel pressure that I'm supposed to get with the car running. So that's why it's saying, we're getting this 171 and 174. All right. So the leak is from this area, and it what I've noticed is that this housing for this regulator, the pressure regulator, is actually plastic, and This is a relatively new pump. It's only been in this car maybe a year or a little more. All right, but because this part of the pump here is made out of plastic, it seemed to have warped, and it's not the fuel pressure regulator is not sitting firmly, or it's not seating in the correct position. So I just removed it first of all to check the gasket and the seals to make sure everything is okay, which everything looks good. The only issue I see is right where the clip goes in to hold the regulator in place. The plastic is kind of warped right there. So I came up with an idea to correct that problem. What I did was I used this wire to hold the clamp firmly in place. After this repair, the system now holds the pressure. You can see the regulator is nice and straight, and running the engine, it starts up nice, right away. No more hesitation or extended crank. It holds the pressure. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up on this video. I'd really appreciate that. I'm the DIY Yachty. Bless up till next time. Respect.